because
Wait, do I say it? Because we're
you said
live?
it. Yeah, because we're live. What's up, everybody? We're live. Hello, everybody. I am Austin Pez Howell, Richie Goodacre, JP. We are the Lonely Marks coming to you live this evening. I'm not sure about Jacob Barber. We're kind of in the dark about that. he usually runs the stream and has everything ready to go. He might have fallen asleep. It sounds like he had a very tough day. So that's okay. The show must go on because I didn't make these Halloween Havoc notes for nothing. Damn it. I made them and we're going to use them because I watched that 3-hour show and we're going to talk about it. So, yeah, we got a couple things on the docket tonight for Lonely Marks, catching up on some stuff. We're going to do some Crown Jewel predictions here tonight for the Saudi Arabia show, which has a pretty decent card from what I'm looking at. Should be an interesting show. We'll talk about it and get our official predictions. And then, yes, we are kind of wrapping up the Halloween season. We were going to do it last week. Things got a little delayed. We had one delayed show. We're going to do it anyways. Sort of wrapping up the Halloween season. We're going to look back at 1996's WCW Halloween Havoc from 96. And an interesting show. We'll talk about that. But yeah, we'll just do any kind of news or discussion anybody's got. Kind of a slow news week, unless you guys anything you particularly want to talk about. The only kind of noteworthy thing is I saw that Ric Flair signed an AEW contract officially. I
didn't even see that. Nice.
Seeing more of the Nature Boy, I guess, in AEW, not just the one-off appearance. Yeah.
Well, they seemed to tease it, and people weren't sure if like Flair was going to business for himself when he was like, "Hey, how about I stick around for a while?"
I read it on the Figure 4 news thing that he signed an official contract. So
I think I believe it.
It's official. Yeah. So yeah,
I was just joking because like. You know how people do that on indie shows, Pez?
Oh, yeah. No, you might see me a lot on this thing. Or Yeah, it's... No, I get it.
Jesse Neal tried doing that with me.
Oh, he did that on our shows, too, in Jacksonville, yes.
One show we had you booked, and he was like, wouldn't you love to see us in a tag match next month? And I was like...
He got booted off one of our shows for cussing too much when we told everybody to keep it PG, as we always do with our crowd. And then we proceeded to, after his match, drop multiple F-bombs and cause people to walk out. So, great. Thanks, Jesse.
Person that cursed too much for me was Danny Birch with Oney Lorcan's partner. We were like, "Hey, this is not PG-13." And I think he's like, "Suck on my cock," like on his way down. Like, dude, like that's definitely not PG.
but yeah, you keep going. Sorry.
No, I was trying to find the original article where Ric Flair signed the contract. Just see, I think it said it was a multi-year contract from what I saw.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought, but no, I was just hoping that, like, obviously, because Sting announced that obviously he's retiring, he's going at the end of his match is going to be at the last match is going to be at Revolution. Was it Revolution? 2024. I just hope that like Ric Flair hasn't gotten into Tony Khan's ear like, hey, what if I'm his last opponent? No,
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see 73-year-old Ric Flair versus 61-year-old or 60-year-old Sting. I don't want to see that. I don't think it was the greatest match when they were 20 years younger on Nitro, 22 years ago, whatever it was. I don't want to see that now.
Impact match too. I believe Flair's last Impact matches with Sting.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. Is there something in it for him? Because he keeps teasing like, oh, well, that my last match wasn't received well, and I passed out and he got dehydrated, so I didn't have the last match.
No, you don't. It's okay. You're still Ric Flair. Like we don't.
Last time.
Yeah, you don't need to have a 5-star classic, Rick, to for us to appreciate your accomplishment in the wrestling business. It's fine. Yeah. No, I don't think you could have a match with anybody, and it would be 5 stars. Like I don't care who it is, what amazing worker it is. So we'll see what happens with Flair. Yeah, what Sting ends up doing for his final match. Is there somebody you guys would like to see him go up against for his final match that could have a good match with Sting, or at least help carry him to a good match?
I'm guessing it could be like, I don't know if their styles of match, but maybe it'd be Darby Allin.
That's a weird one, but they've done that before. Like that was Punk's first match, so like That's definitely the kind of first thing that comes to mind is Darby, just because, like, all right, makes sense. Unless you want to do him in a heel, but yeah, I don't know. Who have we not seen him with on this last run? That would be kind of cool.
1-on-1 against Jericho?
Oh, we kind of saw that on one-on-one we haven't, yeah.
1-on-1, I mean, I haven't gotten that.
I don't even necessarily. I think also we're assuming it's a 1-on-1. Like he's done. I could definitely see it still being a tag or a 6-man.
Yeah, and it, weird stat. He's never lost in AEW, so maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say that to the very end, or maybe soon. Maybe he'll lose his next one.
Maybe put someone over. Yeah, it's an interesting thing to sort of ponder. And wonder if they put that as like I don't know. They probably wouldn't put that as the last thing on the show. Probably, it'll probably be the main. They'll probably be the world title match, whatever that's going to be. But yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind if the show was kind of built around him. Maybe. Well, I guess you can't do clips, but you could always do the world title first and would sing. I think that's the way to end.
Yeah.
Unless you have a real crazy world title match, you know what I mean? Like for instance, if it was this pay-per-view, I'd say MJF and Jay White start. You know what I mean? So no, I think that is the way to end it. But again, it depends on what is on the docket. But
yeah. I guess sort of like the only other news I could think of, just staying is Bryan Danielson got injured again. So there's that.
What did he do this time? I didn't see that.
He had everyone thought it was a work, but it looks like it's a shoot. He was in the ring with Okada again. I don't maybe
okay, stop working Okada if you keep getting hurt with Okada.
Yeah. And then he got hit with the Rainmaker, and then he just grabbed his face, and he broke his audible bone.
Oh my god! Yikes! That's never good.
yeah. But people thought because I think Okada was in the moment and kind of taunting him afterwards, so I was like, oh, they're building up to a rematch. But no. He had surgery and he might be out for the rest of the year. So it might be a good time. It might be a good time to maybe retire if he keeps getting injured every match he has.
Maybe have that retirement match with Nigel McGuinness, and maybe they both retire.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, speaking of that, just piggybacking off that, I 100% believe Nigel will wrestle at Wembley next year. The fact that he was in the promo, there's little hints of someone that has dreamt of my whole life of doing that. Isn't that cool? It's a really bad British impression, but I 100% believe because he even teased. He did a photo of here's what I would have in my gear nowadays, before the last one, and he's like, if there's one thing to get me out of retirement, it's that. So 100%. Again, I almost say no to him versus Danielson because I don't know if he's even said I don't think I could live up to a 1-on-1 Danielson match because people like us that have seen the 2008 Ring of Honor matches, we would want that, and that's just not what we would get probably. But I think fun a tag or 6-man or even a singles, it's quite possible. But I do think Nigel will wrestle for sure. I'd put money on that if I was a betting man.
That's definitely possible. I'd like to see him at least have one more good one. Before he permanently.
I think so. Yeah, because even if you watch there's a documentary, The Last Drop of McGuinness, something like that, and his last match was truly at this small ass show. It was just a local place that meant something to him. But he didn't have a big farewell.
Sure.
I guess maybe piggybacking off that, it's Tony Khan should stop making should stop saying he has special announcements when some of them are good. I mean, the Ric Flair thing was kind of cool. Yeah, it was. You didn't need an announcement thing to announce there's another Wembley. You literally announced there's going to be another All In at the show All In. So you already knew that. Oh, tickets are going to sell. You didn't need to have a whole announcement of that.
Yeah, it's overhype. It's unnecessary overhype that then makes you for the next time go, oh, a special announcement. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, no, it's we already knew that at the end of the Wembley show. They said, "Hey, we're coming back to Wembley." Cool. We all kind of expected that, given the fact that they, had 88,000 people there. That would be a smart business decision
to go back. At the scrum, this was just simply here's the exact date and ticket sales, which is good, and you should announce that. But
which is fine. But you can put out a press release about that. You can have a graphic about it on Dynamite, or whatever. You can.
I'm not even necessarily saying change the way they did it; just change the way you word it. You know what I mean? Even still do the thing with Nigel because it's still a big show. You want as much eyes on the fact that they're releasing it, but the way he words it makes it seem like, oh my god, they got an HBO deal. They just signed John Cena. Like that's they word it to make you think it's like completely brand new crazy news. That's the problem.
No, an official Max deal would be a huge announcement.
Yeah, I thought it was that.
Service. You signed this current person or that current person. That's a big deal. Yeah, or we're having a new show. I don't know. Or but announcing something we already knew about is weird. The Ric Flair thing, was weird. Mute your thing, Richie, when you're having conversations with your dog. Anyways, Tony Khan it's getting to the point of laughable, JPO. Like every time it's Tony Khan has an announcement, and it's especially the Ric Flair thing was cool, but at the same time as Sting, I'm going to give you something nobody's ever given you before. Oh no, we've seen Sting and Ric Flair interact many, 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 many times.
Yeah, I was even going to say even that was overhyped. I don't agree that even that was worthy of that the way they worded it. It's the boy who cried wolf syndrome. Is what it is. Oh
no, 100%. Yeah, it's
at the point now where it's like next time you say it, I'm going to go sure.
We'll just wait to see what it is, and if it is a big news, we'll talk about it. But after that, it's getting to the point of overhype. Tony, this is the thing we talk about where Tony needs to have that person in his ear to be like, hey, maybe that's not worthy of a graphic of an announcement, somebody to help him out with those sort of things instead of just trying to do it all on his own. But hey, Tony got to be Tony. So Tony gonna be Tony. I don't have a whole lot else. It was kind of like we said, kind of a slow week for just news wise. Just a couple of the sort of regular shows gearing up for a few things. So what do you say we talk some predictions as we are one to do on the show? JPO, if you would mind helping me out, if you could, as one you are with those graphics for Crown Jewel. They've announced pretty much the whole card, I believe, from what I can see. Everything's ready to go. 7
main, and for once they actually
kickoff, right?
They announced the kickoff. Yeah.
Right. No, we actually have an official kickoff match.
Which announced. Is this right here.
Hey, all right. Well, let's bring some stuff on here. Ooh, what is that? That is a kickoff match right there. Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. For the kickoff here, which is interesting because it's like, is Peacock going to air the kickoff match? Because they tend not to air the kickoff show when I go to replay it later. We'll see if that's available. Otherwise, I'll just have to look.
They air it live for sure. I feel like they're just not that gung ho on getting it up quickly. But
I have to watch the replay because I'm still going to be at work when this thing airs live at noon on Saturday.
You always got YouTube.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But, I'll be watching the replay. But, we've got Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. And, let's start going through this card and start making some positions and talk about what's going on. So we'll just start down at the bottom with you, JPO. This kickoff match. What do you got?
Brought to you by Slim Jim.
No, that's the other show we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Although that would be a funny coincidence if it actually was. That would be hilarious. But no, Crown Jewel is not sponsored by Slim Jim.
Those dope turnbuckles.
Yes.
I just think very simply, unless you have some shenanigans. So far, McDonough's been kind of the bitch boy of of Breaking Ground. What the fuck are they called? Breaking Bad. The Elite. Judgment Day. Thank you. I was blinking hard on that. Oh my god!
But you weren't even in the ballpark.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know what I was thinking. But I know. I mean, and I like JD McDonough, so that's not a knock on him. That's just the way they booked him. Almost like he's not even an official member yet. So unless there's some shenanigans, which I don't think they'll do too much on the pre-show, I'll say Sami Zayn pretty easily in my mind.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah, because I like JD McDonough. I'll let you know. I know him as Jordan Devlin or Twin Bella, as you know, as he used to be called, because he's even trained by Finn Balor. It makes sense that he's with the the Judgment Day. I assume he's going to be official member soon. Once they hook out Damian Priest. Just tough. I will say just be different. I'll go with McDonough. I think there might be some shenanigans, and then Emmett Dunn will get the win somehow. And yeah, kind of planting the seeds to make him an official member.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Sammy, I mean, interesting he's going up against Sammy when Sammy was kind of playing the role that JD's playing with the Judgment Day that he played with Bloodline, right? I mean, kind of the dork of the group, the comedy geek of the group. Yeah, not totally in, trying to do what he can to get in. JD's playing the same kind of role here. So yeah, that's what makes you think it's okay if Sammy gets a win here and JD loses. It's not going to hurt him. JD's already been played as kind of a goof right now, kind of screwing up all the time. So I'll take Sammy to take, especially so it's a kickoff match. So yeah, it's not even on the main card. I could see Sammy winning this pretty easily. Yeah, very intense face. Ooh. He's got evil eyes. Yeah. All right, well, let's go to the next one. Oh, yeah, we got a 5-way for this women's title here. Rhea Ripley.
I thought that was Ronda Rousey then.
No, she's gone now. She's not in the match.
That chick looks like Ronda Rousey, right?
Who does?
Anyway, it was Zoe Stark. So Shayna Baszler.
White women look the same to you. Jeez, Richie.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? We got a 5-way here for Rhea Ripley's title. Whatever there's 2 women's title. I don't know what hers is called. It's Rhea Ripley's title, whatever it is. Who are the participants here? We got Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, and who's the other one?
Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark. Okay, cool. There's 1,000 women in WWE right now. I can't keep them all straight. 5 is it a 1 fall or is it elimination? I don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume 1 fall. I don't know if they ever build it differently. 1
fall. Okay. All right. We got this 5-way. Richie, what do you think about this one?
I think it's funny because I think maybe ideally it shows that maybe they're not confident. Because I thought maybe they're building towards Rhea and Nia in a singles match, and they're like, "Dude, we can't have her." And we got to pack this match. Like, we can't trust Nia in a singles match, considering she's known for botching moves, and she botched the bonsai drop she did on Rhea. So, but anyway, I don't know. I think it'll be fun. Nia can do her big spots, but I ultimately think, ultimately I think Rhea's going to win it. I think she's too over right now. I don't think her run's ending. I would like to see down the line maybe like a feud between Rhea and Zoe Stark. I think Zoe Stark is a future champion. She's really good. I wouldn't mind Shayna holding the title at some point too, but I don't think it's Rhea's time to lose yet. So I'll go Rhea.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I still just don't see Rhea losing anytime soon. She's still very much over with the fans. They're into everything she's doing. They're still into all the stuff with her and Dom. I at least until Mania, she's kind of like Gunther right now, where I just don't see her relinquishing that title anytime soon. Probably till it's a more high-profile singles match, and this is not a high-profile singles match. So I'll go with Rhea. JPO.
I'm sadly not going to add anything new to the mix here. Rhea Ripley, I think we'll take it. Like you said too. Well, this is a good way to take the title off of her because it's a multi-man. You could have or multi-woman. You could have someone maybe pin someone else. I just don't think anyone's hot enough right now to get it, you know what I mean, over Rhea. And I think, she just kind of continues. And like you said, I think if it was a bigger, juicier one-on-one feud, maybe. But I don't think that's 5-way. I think it's going to be Rhea.
All right, so everybody going with Rhea on that one. Yeah, there's all kinds of faces to zoom in on this one. Yeah. Hey, look at my anticipated match of the evening here. And yes, a little bit of a return from these two have sort of faced off in a tag team match before against each other. We get a singles match here for the United States title. Rey Mysterio, the champion, taking on Logan Paul. Again, Logan Paul, kind of my current favorite new wrestler. Who I just think that dude's a natural, man. He's been putting on great matches. He's just got a knack for it. I think he's a great heel. I'm up first on this one. I'm going to take, and I've been saying this for a couple months now, give Logan a title to go parade around with everywhere he goes. And what better title than the United States Championship, which has been treated kind of like a goof title anyways right now. No offense to Austin Theory. Actually, well, offense to Austin Theory, I don't care. But Rey Mysterio doesn't need the United States title. He doesn't need it at all. That's a perfect title, for Logan Paul to take, and it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt the reputation of it. He'll defend it way more than Roman Reigns defends his title. So I'm pretty confident of that. Even if he only makes 6 appearances a year, he will do so. And I'm going to take Logan to take this title and parade it around on social media. So JPO, what do you think?
Yeah, no, 100% in agreement here. The fact that it's Ray, who is, he's a legend. He's literally already a Hall of Famer, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't need to have a lengthy reign. He's already had kind of an okay reign as it is. And I think Logan's ready for it. I think WWE loves the fact that, he'll take this title wherever he goes. You know what I mean? Like he's on social media. So just everything here makes sense for this to be Logan's first run with the title. Yeah,
Richie.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw. Latest Botchamania has like this, the scene from the Suicide Squad, and it's got like the Idris Elba, and then like the Desperate, and then got John Cena. It's like, hey, but he does everything I do, yeah, but he does it better. And it's got Austin Theory's face and Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller's John Cena, because Grayson Waller's a better Austin Theory. But I think I was sort of iffy on Ray winning the title anyway, because I think he came across as a dick winning it, because I think Santos Escobar should have had the title shot and won the title from Austin Theory. And sort of it makes him look like a weird baby face. But I think it makes perfect sense for Logan to win the championship here. So and then to give the title more recognition, mainstream, as you said. So I definitely, I'm probably more confident than a lot of these other predictions here. So I'll go Logan Paul, sure.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I've got a punchable face. All right. We've got our other women's championship match here. Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair. I think some more of these matches will get a little tougher to predict as we go along, maybe starting with this one. So we'll see. But we will go back down to JPO and start flattering it. Yeah.
Man, I saved these photos. I should have rigged this because I wanted to hear you guys' opinion first. I should have rigged it. I could have. Because this is one I'm least certain of, because I feel like they like doing title changes at Crown Jewel, and I think it might be a good pop if Bianca wins it. I don't want to think Io's done yet. Bianca just came back. This one I am torn on. I'm going to say Io retains it, and maybe we finally get that Bianca heel turn.
All right, Richie.
Yeah. I like Bianca, but I think I know she's just come back, and I just think she's in need for the heel turn, because I just feel like I feel like she's been stale for a while now. I don't know, I feel like sometimes, but she does get the sort of, I have seen that she sort of gets like the Charlotte booking sometimes, where she, it's like you can't count out Bianca, they'll probably put her over, where it might get a bit tiresome. So you can't really count her out, but like I don't think Io hasn't had it for that long, and I don't know. I think there's more you can do with Io. I still want to maybe see her go up against Bailey at some point, then to tell that story. And I don't think Bianca needs it at this point. And then like she can get screwed out of the title somehow, and that could be the impetus of how she turns heel. And then maybe joins the Street Profits, then Lashley or something. I don't know. Because there is that rumor of her turning heel, so I'll go Io, but it's hard to predict because you never know. I could see them putting the title on Bianca.
Yeah, this one's interesting because Bianca had that whole year where she was champion, right? Like and she's had her run. I could definitely see them giving it back to her, but like you said, Richie, I'd still want to see them pull the trigger on Io versus Bailey. and get that feud going, because you keep thinking every time Bayley comes out for one of her matches, like they're gonna do it. They're gonna pull the trigger on that, and it just hasn't happened yet. And you keep waiting for like the hug to turn into something else, but it just hasn't. But it could happen in Saudi, and maybe it'd be a big moment. So I'm also gonna take Io to retain it for now, because I think they could squeeze a little more juice out of that storyline, but we'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca takes it.
We got to start disagreeing, guys.
I know. Well, otherwise we'll figure out some stuff to do. Hey, this might be tougher. Yeah, we've got Ernest P. Worrell taking on Solo Sikoa. I'm sorry, John Cena taking on Solo Sikoa. My God, look at that picture. They definitely updated his profile picture. That's for sure.
Wait, Austin, who's Ernest? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ, that was so embarrassing. For anyone who doesn't know, I wore my Ernest outfit. Like, we're allowed to wear costumes on Halloween, and I wear it, and literally every late teens into the 20s person that is works at the grocery store I work at was like, so who are you dressed up as? and they were like, you're like a farmer or something. I was just like, oh my God. And then I tell them, and they're still like, who's that? What? And I go, comedy franchise. He had 9 movies and a TV show. Who? And it's just,
just be like, he voiced Slinky the dog.
And even then, that might not be guaranteed. Who knows? Good. Oh,
Wait, don't you mean Blake Clark?
Yeah, Blake. Holy shit. I'm officially old now, and my references are old. So God help me. But anyway,
no, I feel you. I've written that at Publix too sometimes, where I'd be like, "Hey, kids, remember?" And they'd be like, "What?"
Nope, I don't remember, because I wasn't alive. And when you realize that everybody you're talking to was born after Jim Varney died as well, because he died in 2000 of lung cancer. So that's unfortunate. Anyways, getting back to as much as I want to see the Jim Varney story starring John Cena, no, he's wrestling right now because the strike is still happening. So John Cena still popping up. We got a singles match here. John Cena taking on Solo Sikoa, which I sure hope they do some John Cena versus Umaga references in this one, because it's right there. To do some kind of callbacks to that Royal Rumble match would be interesting. But we'll start with Richie on this one. What do you think about here?
I'll also make a prediction. I mean, this might be about. I don't know if it's that bold. I think this will be John Cena's last pay-per-view match for a premium live event match for a while, because I think the actor strike will be. I mean, look. I mean, sometimes if this was mid, maybe early 2010s, I'd be like, okay, you can't bet against Super Cena, but he's obviously he's a lot older. He's a lot more giving. He sells a lot for people.
He mentioned on SmackDown, he has not won a singles match in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can still hear him. He's still calls spots like he's talking out of a megaphone. If I can, sometimes when they talk too much segment on Botchamania, sometimes I don't hear it unless I hear it, on Botchamania. But no, I hear the spot. But So I think because I think he's a given. I think because I think he's given. I think it would do a lot for him. I'm gonna go Solo to win here. I think it'll be fun. I do. It'd be cool to see that Umaga references and stuff, because I think obviously Cena and Umaga Royal Rumble is one of the best matches Cena's had, in my opinion. The match rules. So, but I'm looking forward to the match. I think it'll be cool, and I think it'll be kind of. I think it'll be a highlight of Solo's career up to this point. So, because I think he's got a bright future. So I think Solo will get the W.
So my only logic going into this one is that it's Saudi Arabia. John Cena's a big star. They're probably going to love him. And the fact that he's harped so much and brought up specifically that he hasn't won a singles match since 2018 is why I'm going to take John Cena to get a singles victory here 5 years later before he goes back to acting. Yeah. That's literally my only logic. That's all I got. So I don't have a storyline reason for it. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that they would just bring up that specific fact specifically in a promo before a singles match. So I'm actually gonna split this one and say Cena. JPO.
You guys suck because you both said exactly what I've been thinking. Is why I'm torn.
Right. There's a logic in both for sure. This one's tough. Yeah.
Richie brought up the fact that this would be a big win for Solo, and if Cena's leaving, too possibly, does he need a win? If he's gonna disappear for till Mania again or till whenever. But then you got John Cena, and it's like if you kill him too much, then will it matter the next time he comes back? Plus, it's Saudi. You know what I mean? Do you want to just have that nice pop of like, here's the biggest star on the show winning? And also, I'm also kind of using future logic of where I'm gonna and where some of the other matches we're gonna talk about are going. And I think you need a big face win. I'm gonna say Cena.
Okay. All right. So a little bit of split there. All right.
Could be Ernest.
Yeah.
Quick Ernest story too. You know, PWG had a show called the Ernest P. World Memorial.
Oh, I have it on DVD, of course.
when that happened, I remember being very confused and like, is that like a producer that died, or because I didn't think of Ernest. I didn't know his last name by heart. So
yeah.
I remember being very confused. It's like, who the fuck's Ernest P. and like, why is he getting a whole show?
Speaking of ones that are also tough to predict, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest here in a singles match. This one is tough. Yeah, I'm up first in this one. Yeah, and I wish I could hear everybody else's thoughts, just like you just said a minute ago, JPO. Because, boy, we're in a tough situation here because I feel like both guys could, use a big win here. So I don't know where to go because Damian Priest. You can't have him lose too many times when he's still got the Money in the Bank briefcase, although they just won the tag titles back from Cody and Jay, so they did kind of get a big win.
That was weird.
Which was weird, yeah. And then Cody could use the win because they just lost the tag titles, so I don't know where to go on this one. Because you also want to build some momentum for Cody, I'm assuming, getting closer and closer to Mania. But I'm going to take Damian Priest here to pull a surprise win and get a big win here. I don't really have a lot of logic. I just kind of more about up in the air kind of thing. So, JPO, what do you think?
I'm going to split it here and say Cody. I think you can job, at least from WWE's standards. I feel like they do job out the Money in the Bank guy a lot. Because whether or not he wins the title or not down the line, I think you kind of can get away with it. He has the title at the moment, so and I think, like you said, sooner or later Cody's going to get another title shot. I don't know if you job him out here, so I'm going to say Cody gets a W.
Okay, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later Cody will finish the story, but this story is very thick at this point. This is very, very long, long drawn out story, but it's good. And look, I like Damian Priest. I think he's really good. I do predict that he might get a successful cash in at some point. But I don't think it hurts him that much to lose, even though it would do more for him if he won. I could see again maybe some Judgment Day shenanigans that go awry. Maybe JD McDonough tries to come out again and kind of it backfires. So I'll go Cody. Because I think they'll give him momentum to try and they'll see how they get to Wardrobe and Reigns if they go that direction. I mean, there's also that rumor still of the Rock, but and if they get the Rock, they're obviously going to usurp Cody.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Maybe.
Hey. All right. Semi-main event. Well, we don't know if it's semi-main event. I'm assuming it's a semi-main event, but it might not be. We'll see. World Heavyweight title on the line here. Seth Rollins taking on Drew McIntyre. Speaking of another one that might be tricky to predict, let's see what happens here. Richie.
Yeah, okay. Like Seth's title run's been pretty good. And Drew's like this, not a heel yet, but kind of a tweener, kind of just a fed up, kind of like, disgruntled dude, still fed up with things not going his way. But I guess the caveat, the big thing to know, I guess, is that Drew McIntyre hasn't signed a new contract yet. It's coming up in a couple of months. Do they put the title on him to kind of sweeten the deal, or do they just go ahead with whatever plans they have with Seth Rollins and then still try to work out a deal? or maybe it's just settled that Drew's leaving. It could go either way, but I will stick with Seth for now. I think there's bigger plans here, and yeah, I do hope Drew stays. But yeah, I can see Drew winning, but I'll go Seth.
I figure you of all people, Rich, you'd be the one to bet on Drew, because I'm going to bet on Drew here. I'm going to bet on Drew to take the title in Saudi Arabia. I just, my moral logic is Seth is still working with essentially a broken back. I think it's time to get the hell off his title off this back. Let's get some fresh matches in here. I think Seth's done about all he can do to where it's getting a little stale. I want to say, like, I think you could do a change here with this title, and I don't think it would kill it. I think Drew taking it would give us some a breath of fresh air here, give us some new feuds, heading towards kind of WrestleMania season, Royal Rumble season. And let's be honest, it's about damn time Drew got this title back. I mean, it's been a while since they had their 2020 match, right? They had the one that they're kind of throwing out there. And yeah, let's give Drew a big moment in front of a crowd. So I'm going to take Drew. JPO.
I thought Finn might defeat Seth. I was wrong. I thought Shinsuke might defeat Seth. I was wrong. I should really stop voting against Seth, but I'm not going to. I'm going for Drew.
Yeah,
I like Seth a lot, but I think he's had a good reign now. I think his reign will go down as a nice, decent first reign with this new title. I love Drew. I think that it does suck. They've said it on Raw that his big first win was during the pandemic. Give him a nice first win here, and I don't know, and I'm trying not to use too much backstage logic. I figure, hey, worst case scenario, if it doesn't look like he's sticking around, they can have Damian cash out on him any second if they wanted to. So I don't think they're too worried about giving Drew another run. So I'm gonna say Drew takes it. That's what I want to see too.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind in the future just seeing a Drew McIntyre Damian Priest match. I think they could tear it up pretty good.
It also gives another wrinkle to his character if that does happen, and he could turn full heel because he'd be like, I get getting screwed over.
Yeah. So one that may not be as hard to predict, but hey, at least we're getting a Roman Reigns title defense. The second
by that?
The second one since WrestleMania, I might add. Only the second one since WrestleMania.
It's November.
It's November, and this is his second title defense he's had all year. Roman Reigns taking on LA Knight, the number one contender. I mean, JPO, you had the biggest reaction to it. You want to kick us off on this one, just because?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to see LA Knight get it, but I mean, I think all logic to me anyway points to Roman keeping it, whether or not his story needs to finish with Cody, or one of the Usos, or even Solo, or The Rock. I don't think it's necessarily LA Knight. Plus, it's his first real main event. Whether this is the opener or the main event, it's for LA Knight's first major title shot. I hope it's not his last, but I don't see them giving it to him in this moment right now. I think it's going to be another Roman W.
Richard?
Yeah, I see LA Knight getting the title maybe at some point. Because, I mean, although, WWE has historically not capitalized on huge momentum, I love the LA Knight story. I think there's an argument, just through crowd reaction and momentum, he's one of the best, one of the wrestlers of the year in terms of that. But that's right. I just don't. I think it would be. I also just think it would be kind of random to have the LA Knight one be the ones that have thrown Roman. I actually think maybe down the line he might actually win the other title, and not this one. I don't know if he just gets drafted to Raw down the line. But yeah.
Well, he could, if they do another one after WrestleMania or something, maybe do another, draft or whatever, or another shakeup, sort of thing.
I just see a more logical path there than because I think it's the next champion, apart from Roman, it's going to be either Cody or one of the people that were affiliated with the Bloodline, like Jay or Solo, or even maybe The Rock, but it shouldn't be The Rock, but But I think it's that group. So I don't think it's LA Knight's time. But I'm glad that he's so over, and I love LA Knight. But yeah, I'm going to go Roman.
Yeah, JPO, we talked about betting against Super Cena, but I don't bet against Super Roman in these title defenses. I was the one guy who said he beat Cody, and he beat Cody at Mania, and I didn't want him to, but he did. It's all my fault. I predicted him to keep it, and sorry, LA Knight. This is your first big main event. I'm sure it will not be your last. I'm kind of with Richie. I could see him picking up the other heavyweight title at some point just to kind of warm up to it, and be kind of a top guy with that title. But yeah, Roman, as much as I'd like to get the belt off of him just because he never defends the damn thing, I'd like to give it to somebody who would. I'm not going to bet against Super Roman to lose his title here in Saudi Arabia. So I'm also going to take Roman. And just to cap it off, I guess we'll do sort of our little tiebreakers here. Obviously, we have a kickoff match, so that doesn't count. But what kicks off the main card, JPO?
Let's see here. Just kind of a quick run through.
Yeah.
I'll say Cena Solo.
Cena Solo, Richie.
Shush. I will say Ray and Logan Paul.
And I was also going to say the same thing Richie said. I will say Ray and Logan opens up, and we get a hot little match there. So, all right, Ray and Logan. That's good. So at least me and JPO at least have two differences now. We have one where we disagreed, and we have a different opening match. Cool. So at least have some ways to break that tie. And then me and Richie are split on a couple of different ones, so we're good there. So it's shaping up to be a pretty. Again, I don't mind some of these shows where the outcomes might be, at least half the matches are kind of up in the air. We don't know where they're going to go. And it looks like there's potential for some good matches on there. So it should be a good show. Hopefully the Saudi crowd is awake. That Saudi crowd can be 50-50 on whether or not they want to react to anything or sit on their hands. I certainly hope they are. Yeah, they were good last time, but the one before that they weren't. So it depends. It just depends on what mood they're in. If they're actually in the mood for wrestling, maybe they'll be a good crowd. So I certainly hope so. These shows they've done overseas have been pretty good so far this year. We've had some good ones. They've been some of the better shows we've had over the last year or so. What do you say, guys? We jump in the time machine as we were wont to do here, and we get a little spooky to wrap up our Halloween season before we inevitably do a retro show based off an old Survivor Series or something, as we'll probably do in 2 or 3 weeks, leading up to Survivor Series. But let's talk some Halloween Havoc. Go back to 1996, specifically October 27th. 1996, and just letting you guys know, I did watch the Nitro before this, just to kind of see what was going on, get a feel for some of the backstories of some of the matches, so I can maybe fill in a few of those, let you know what was going on with each of these guys as we get going along here. But we are Halloween Havoc 1996, coming to you from Las Vegas. The MGM Grand Garden Arena, which they're still using to this day for UFC events and whatnot, the occasional WWE show. Still a place. And I'm sorry, I neglected to mention it is Slim Jim's Halloween Havoc, as they said 97 times on this show. And I should add, on the Nitro, also said 97 times over and over and over again, Slim Jim's Halloween Havoc.
I don't think it stops becoming Slim. I think, they say it 97 times in 2000 as well.
Yeah, they might have become a permanent sponsor, but as JPO alluded to, the turnbuckle pads did look like Slim Jim sticks, so that was kind of cool. They wrapped them into like yellow and red little Slim Jim things. So you had the four corner posts. Yeah, every corner of the ring post looked like a Slim Jim. So that was
fun. The mat too. Every corner is.
Slim Jim all over the show. But as we talked about, Richie, they did have a pretty cool little setup. It looked like a graveyard in the entranceway.
I want to say, is this the NWO Revenge setup for N64?
It might be similar to that because that came out around the same time, right? Yeah. So and we wouldn't get the inflatable pumpkins, I think, till the year after this, or the year or two, or maybe the 2 years after that. We get the big pumpkin inflatable things, and a little bit more elaborate with that. But they have kind of a cool, looks like an iron gate little entranceway into a graveyard, and some cool stuff. So the setups are always cool for Halloween Havoc. Appreciated that. Your commentators this evening: Tony Schiavone, Dusty Rhodes, and Bobby Bobby the Brain Heenan with some occasional Mike Tenay thrown in there, depending on the match.
Dusty Rhodes. I love Dusty Rhodes. He's not a great commentator.
Well, he's an interesting commentator. I'll at least say he's better than Matt Striker. I'd rather listen to him.
Man, y'all hate Matt Striker.
At least he's like, because Dusty will say nonsense, but it's because he's a nonsensical person. So like, he's not trying to be annoying. He's just being Dusty. So I at least appreciate that he has energy. And him and Brain are always arguing back and forth. So that's always fun because, Brain's being the heel announcer. Dusty's just like the worker announcer, that's sort of, hey, he's better than Larry Zbyszko. So yeah, and on these Nitros, by the way, when I watched this old Nitro, it was weird when they had a commentary team for the first hour and then a different commentary team for the second hour. It was Tony and Larry for the first hour of Nitro. Then they go to Mike, Eric Bischoff, and Bobby the Brain Heenan for the second hour, which was always weird.
Was that like a sort of like supposed to be like their answer to like a how like Raw is War? They used to have
and Warzone. Yeah, I don't know. They just start the second hour and go to a whole different setup with 3 new announcers. It was just weird every time they did that.
So WCW wasted money even in the announcer category.
Yes, no, they certainly have way too many announcers. I'm sure eventually they would cut that because Eric Bischoff would go to be the NWO guy, so they just moved Tony into that role and just kind of consolidate. And then what they would do then is Larry and Bobby would switch out. So Larry would do like the first half of the show, and then Larry would be replaced by Bobby for the second half of the show. That's usually what they would do, and have like a 3-person commentary team. But yeah, tonight it's pretty much Tony, Dusty, and Bobby. Not too many other notes. We get right into it with a cruiserweight title match. We get the champion Rey Mysterio Jr. As they bill him from Tijuana, Mexico, not San Diego, California, versus the Iceman Dean Malenko. Dean comes out with a mask that he stole from Rey in their previous month's match when Rey won the title, but Dean Malenko stole his mask afterwards, so he's been carrying it around a little bit. I was looking forward to this one. These two guys had many, many matches, as we know, in WCW, but always pretty solid stuff. Dean's a great base. He's a really good base for Rey to do all of his wacky stuff around him, to do all his twirls. Dean's good at catching him, countering some stuff, got that low center of gravity. There's some really good stuff here in the opening minutes. A lot of nice counters and sort of tilt-a-whirl counters. Dean goes for the cloverleaf pretty early, trying to ground Rey. Rey's able to get out. Rey kind of gets some momentum back with a somersault plancha, gets his stolen mask back, which was hanging on the turnbuckle, and changes into it mid-match as Bobby tries to go zoom in on his face. Come on, get a good look at it. While he's trying to change his mask, but he's pretty slick with that thing. He took it off while putting the other one on. It was pretty slick and didn't show his face. Match turns around when Dean hit a ridiculously stiff-looking top rope back suplex.
I saw that. I'm like, man, did he land on the top of his head?
Jesus, God, he folded this thing, man. They just smashed into the mat with this back suplex, damn near killed Rey and folded him up. So after that, obviously, then Dean starts going into the heat and the submissions. There's some camel clutches, some leg crabs, a couple of backbreakers, 2 sleeper spots, which was weird because they did the comeback and then the arm drop thing twice for the sleepers, which was a little strange. I was starting to kind of feel the length of the match when they started doing that. Like, we could have probably just done 1 sleeper spot and gone into the comeback, but we started doing another one. Some good looking submissions here. Dean Malenko launched him with a Northern Lights suplex as well. Like, he didn't just like bridge, he just like launched him backwards as he did it. Like, that was pretty brutal as well. Rey finally starts getting some flips and some somersaults. Hits a corkscrew senton to the outside. Dean caught Rey in a spring. Well, Rey went for a springboard. Dean did the thing where he caught him in a power bomb that looked ridiculous. It looked really like he killed him. Oh yeah, no, he caught him in that boom. And then Rey went for a top rope hurricanrana. Dean was able to hold on and block it, and then eventually hit another nasty top rope gut wrench power bomb. For the 1-2-3 and wins the Cruiserweight title. Really good match. I still think their Great American Bash 96 match was better overall. I think it was a little quicker paced. This one did feel a little long in the middle. Like I said, some of those lengthy submission segments, but some good openings, some good closing stuff, and like I said, a couple of really nasty moves in between here. But we'll go around the horn. JPO, what'd you think of this opener here?
Yeah, I was only able to check out the first couple matches, by the way.
Okay. So, and Richie also said he's seen most of this a long time ago, and then it was only halfway through his mid-watch. So I might be carrying the back half of the show then. Sounds good.
Yeah, no, it was a busy week for me.
That's okay.
No, this is good. Mysterio's kind of the king of Halloween Havoc for me so far.
Yeah.
No, this is good. This is great cruiserweight action here. Kind of like you said, he's a great base. Mysterio can deal with the crazy stuff, some good submissions. Yeah, I dug this. It's a great way to open the show.
Yeah, Richie, what'd you think of this cruiserweight opener?
Yeah, no, it's great. I didn't expect anything less. They're really got really good chemistry. Yeah, I feel like Dean could have been like it's one of those things where I mean maybe like he could have been settled the manager, but like he could have been such a bigger star if he just had that sort of like I don't know like charisma. I guess I don't know. Like I think he has like he's really good. Yeah, I just wish he was a bigger star than he ended up being. But yeah, there is one point in WCW where he's really over at one point. But yeah, that is up to that WCW they don't capitalize on it. And but yeah, it's a really good match. But yeah, it's a blessing and a curse that we would see this match like probably 500 more times because
they already said Mike today had already said this was their fifth match that they had. They've been having kind of a series and they were tied 2-2. So it's kind of like a rubber match here.
Because WCW didn't want to pair them with anybody. They just all the cruiserweight guys just sort of just wrestle each other in perpetuity.
Well, I mean, you had those main guys that kind of you had Ray, Dean, Ultimo Dragon, Eddie, Psychosis, Hoovy, Jericho get thrown in there. I mean, you had the same kind of 10 or less guys in it, Jushin Liger a little bit. All kind of mixed in there and just having matches with each other. Not that that's like a horrible thing. They always had pretty good matches in their encounters. But yeah, it did seem like any given 1996 pay-per-view there'd be a combination of any of those 10 guys on the undercard. But yeah, I mean Ray and Dean.
It's always a good way to open it. It's sort of like how TNA would always at least back in the day would always open the show with an X Division match. Like it's a good way to get the
it's a good way to get the crowd going. Crowd did get into it. They love the big spots. And they got into it. Crowd was pretty good all night. Got into most of the stuff here. But yeah, so we move on from that to, as the Hawk would say, a wild slap nuts appears on my screen. And we just can't escape the man, Jeff Jarrett, here on this show as well. We just can't get away from him. He's on every show ever in history.
Fan favorite Ric Flair is injured, so he can't do it. So what's the next best thing? Oh yeah, you know who fans love? Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, you know who also struts? Jeff Jarrett. So yes, Lee Marshall is backstage. He interviews Jeff Jarrett. So they did an angle where the NWO kind of ganged up on Ric Flair in the back, kind of took him out. Jeff Jarrett stepping up to the plate to face the Giant, as Ric Flair would have done on the show. But he's not scared. He's not intimidated. And they did this weird thing. If you guys remember, Jeff Jarrett was always like trying to get into the Horsemen, but he never did because he went back to WWF like a couple months later. In 1997 was just back in the WWF. So that storyline never really went anywhere, but he was always trying to like get in with Ric Flair and become a Horseman, but he never officially was, but he kind of aligned himself with the Horseman a lot, sort of like in this angle. But yeah, he says that Giant will not choke slam him. You can choke slam everybody else, but you're not going to choke slam him. Ric Flair kind of comes in to the segment and says that he will facilitate the post-match meet and greet with Jeff Jarrett and all the ladies he's going to bring to meet Jeff Jarrett once he beats the Giant. So
Jeff Jarrett just doesn't, we'll get to it maybe in the match, but it just doesn't.
Yeah.
But at least this Jeff Jarrett, this version of Jeff Jarrett doesn't maybe miscast because he doesn't exude babyface. He exudes annoyingness.
Yeah, he exudes. I want to boo and punch this guy. Yeah, I don't want to root for this guy. And his attire is ever. We'll get to that. Like when we actually get to the match, which we're not far off of, but we do have another match in the meantime. We have the match of two very glorious haircuts. Diamond Dallas Page versus Eddie Guerrero. DDP with his long curly blonde hair, his very, very curly blonde hair as he had in 1996, chomping on a cigar as he was to do in 1996 with his sunglasses, and Eddie Guerrero in his glorious 90s mullet here. So yes, DDP versus Eddie Guerrero. This is
what I was alluding to, where because they're wrestling over a ring.
A battle bowl ring that we never see for any of this match, that even the announcers go, Apparently, DDP has it, but we've never seen it. Like they haven't even seen it. They're still baffled as to what they're actually fighting over. Yeah, some mysterious battle ball ring that we've never seen.
But I have the same questions about this ring as I do the Dynamite ring. Like, why is it so important? Like, why?
I don't know. I don't think it just it's kind of like a trophy. You know, it's just like it's something, but it's not a title. It doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, they advertise.
What did I win? It. But what's it?
It's it. But yeah, this is also the first of an ongoing storyline we've had over the last month, and then we see way too much on the show. Nick Patrick and his neck brace, which got really annoying throughout this show. That I don't like when we do ongoing referee things when it's not a special guest referee. This was a really annoying storyline. It comes more into prominence during the Chris Jericho match, but where essentially Nick Patrick is wearing a neck brace because he was attacked by the Macho Man a couple weeks earlier, and every time he goes to count, he holds his neck with one arm and counts with the other arm, and it got really, really annoying, and they're complaining about that it's taking him forever to get down and do counts and whatnot. Again, can we not afford more referees? Or we have two other referees. Just have the other two rotate. I did many a show, JPO and Richie, with just two referees. You can do it. You just rotate. You just alternate. I do one, he does one. I do one, he does one. It's not that difficult. You can do a show with two referees, I assure you. Just have Mark Curtis and Randy Anderson, who were both on the show, by the way. Just have them rotate and get Nick Patrick out of it.
I've done it with one.
Oh yeah, no, I've done many a show with just myself as the referee. It's a little bit more difficult. You don't get a lot of breaks, and you have to remember a lot of finishes. But hey, two is plenty on a wrestling show. I can assure you. So I don't know why Nick Patrick still needs to be in there. Even the announcers are asking why he still needs to be there. Why can't he just go home and rest? But yeah, he insists on being there. It's DDP versus Eddie Guerrero.
It's like a less funny version of like the neck brace angle with like Roderick Strong. At least Roderick Strong's hamming it up like kind of funny.
But he's a wrestler at least. I don't know, and it's part of his gimmick. It's like the Bob Orton, cast or something, but like, I just think doing a angle with a referee doing this is really stupid because you can replace referees, like it's just silly. I don't know, it's dumb, but anyways, this is kind of a clunky match. I don't think these guys had the best chemistry. They're doing the best they can. Heel DDP was always weird in 1996. I just think he's kind of a more natural babyface. But yeah, they did have a good spot early that I wrote down. I called it a gut wrench gut buster. DDP literally picked him up in a gut wrench and then flipped him over into a gut buster. It was kind of cool for what it was. There's a couple of tilt-a-whirl side slams. DDP continues to try to cheat, grabbing the ropes, putting his foot on the ropes, that sort of thing. Yeah.
When he did that, this is weird. Okay, so he does that. Nick Patrick's not looking, right? But then like it's just this awkward moment where it just stops, and I guess Nick Patrick, it's supposed to come across like Nick Patrick caught him. It doesn't come across like that.
No, because he's looking straight at the shoulders. Then after he stops counting, he looks over at the ropes after. You know why, Richie? Nick Patrick sucks as a referee. He stinks. He's not a good referee.
It came across like he forgot the spot and that was expecting Eddie to kick out.
And you know why? Nick Patrick did that a lot. He forgot a lot of spots he was supposed to remember. he's not good at that. And he's even worse when he's trying to work a neck brace thing at the same time. And is also forgetting the regular spots he's supposed to do. I'm always looking when the guy's near the ropes for the foot on the rope spot. Anyways, that's what you do as a referee. That should be instinctual because sometimes they'll tell you they do it without telling you. So you just look for it. But anyways, Eddie gets a little momentum back with a top rope crossbody to the floor off the turnbuckle. The DDP, and then it gets weird because that's like his high point of the match. DDP took like 90% of this match. Like he dominates pretty much almost all of this match. And yeah, near the end, DDP hits a spin out powerbomb. Eddie kicks out, but then DDP just picks him up, cravats him, and then just gives him a really awkward diamond cutter and pins him. And that's how the match ends.
The announcers go, I think Eddie blocked it because he's supposed to land on his face. He blocked it with his hands, and then he's like, oh, no.
Nope, he hit the diamond cutter, and that was the finish.
I guess it's over. All right. I was like, okay, that's all good.
Yeah. So it was a weird sequence because, there wasn't like a real back and forth kind of false finish thing. It was just DDP hit a couple of moves, hit a awkward looking diamond cutter and pinned Eddie Guerrero, and that was it. 13:56. So, Richie, what did you think of this one overall?
Yeah, that was a bit clunky in spots. I mean, I love both these guys, but yeah, it was just there was a lot of like mess ups. But yeah, partly due to Nick Patrick and stuff. But yeah, it was I like both these guys. It was decent, mostly decent. Well, but even Doug's got a plastic bag now.
No, don't eat the plastic bag, doggy, please. That's not edible.
Yeah, I liked it despite the clunkiness. Yeah.
Give me that. Well, while Richie fetches the plastic bag, JPO, what did you think of this match?
No, I mean, except for a couple of spots, I mostly enjoyed it here on paper. I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool match that, we unfortunately I don't know if we ever saw it again. So
I don't think so, because Eddie kind of went on to do the LWO thing, which had nothing to do with DDP. And then
heavyweight stuff later.
DDP became a main event guy, so I don't think they ever crossed paths again. Yeah, I don't think so.
So no, I was happy to see it. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. I mean, not like the worst match you ever saw or anything, just a little clunky, a little awkward.
I was hoping for a little bit more, but yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it was. We then go to Mike Tenay and Macho Man Randy Savage for the winner of the Slim Jim sweepstakes that must be picked out and revealed, where apparently the winner, this Joan from Minnesota or whatever her name was, wins a monster truck. That's the prize? As if anybody can just do anything with a monster truck. Is that street legal? Can I park that in my driveway? I'm assuming, JPO, there's probably a cash alternate, as with most of these contests that they probably took. I did all kinds of digging online to try to find what happened to this contest, if this person actually received a monster truck. But I could not find anything other than people posting randomly on Twitter or something, being like, I'm watching Halloween Havoc 96, and they're giving away a monster truck. That's weird, right? And that's just all I could really find was people talking about that. So and this was just weird because the storyline, we'll get to it later, with Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan, it's supposed to be this very serious thing where Miss Elizabeth just like broke up with him via video and did all these videos, and he's like crying on Nitro and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden in the middle of this, he's got to go, ooh, a Slim Jim sweepstakes. Who's going to win this? Ooh. And it's just very awkward in the middle of the show, even though it might have been pre-taped, I'm assuming. But yeah, so congratulations, Joan from Minnesota, on winning your monster truck. All right. Well, whatever you're going to do with that, cool. So anyways, Mike Tenay quickly interviews Dean Malenko. He gives a very standard, I'll take on whoever steps up to the plate kind of promo. Wasn't much to it. And then the Giant comes out of the crowd for his match, as we said, with Jeff Jarrett. Nick Patrick is stupidly holding the United States title up, even though it's a non-title match. So once again, screwing things up. And yeah, we get Jeff Jarrett taking on. Yeah, they're like, no, Nick Patrick, it's not a title match. Why are you holding the belt up? It's a non-title match. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett, we should say, was in his very, very stupid string attire, or whatever you want to call it, which is where he's got the neck collar and like 5 threads coming down from the neck collar connecting to his pants. It's like if you were wearing a shirt and you took a rake to it down the middle and it ripped off sections of your shirt. That's what he wears to the ring. It looks really stupid.
Yeah, I don't want to cheer that guy.
No, that's a total heel outfit of like, look at that dork. I'm gonna boo that guy. He looks stupid. I want the Giant guy to beat him up. So yeah, we start off this match. Jeff Jarrett's trying to kind of stick and move. He struts around trying to frustrate the Giant. He'll like strut, and Giant will go after him, and he'll kind of duck out of the way. Again, trying to bait him in. The best part of this match, honestly, because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, was Flair at ringside. And at one point, he grabs a microphone and starts doing ringside commentary. And I wish he'd done that the whole match. That would have been fun. Because he always like grabs a mic and he's going like, "Yeah, Jeff, get him!" What are you doing? You got nothing. Yeah, he just like starts.
I think maybe he read the room and realized that the crowd was dead.
Yeah, and he had to do something to liven him up because he's doing everything he can. He's jumping around, running back and forth. He had a lot of energy for a guy who supposedly could not wrestle the Giant, by the way. That's really weird. He's hopping all over the place, and he seems to be perfectly fine. Jeff Jarrett did hit two pretty great drop kicks, two very high drop kicks that damn near hit Giant right in the face. So those are pretty high drop kicks for what it was. Tries to body slam him, but fails. And then the match just ends when they go to the outside. Jeff Jarrett tries to put the figure four on the Giant on the outside. Giant gets out of it, but then Ric Flair just low blows the Giant for the DQ at 9:53 because, God forbid, Giant beat Jeff Jarrett, who was leaving anyways, and we put over the Giant. Got to protect that Jeff Jarrett. But JPO, any comments about this one?
Nah, not too much to add for this one.
Yeah, you didn't see it, did you?
I started checking out on this one, yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you. No, I mean, it was a very check-outable match, but Richie.
Yeah, it's not I don't know. Like, it's weird that you had, like, by the way, that wasn't a plastic bag or toilet paper.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. Puppy. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I set out to get like a young dog, not necessarily a puppy, but it is what it is.
Hey, yeah, well, start from scratch.
But I don't know. There's nothing. It's just I don't think it went about as well as you'd think on paper. So the Giant and Jeff Jarrett at this point. It's like, Jeff Jarrett's not this is not a fan favorite, obviously, but the fans put in a position where, like, I guess we'll cheer this dude by proxy.
Uh-huh.
I know there's probably other people you could have put in there, like even, I don't know. I mean, you probably couldn't put Ben Meyer in there because then you wouldn't get the match you're gonna watch afterwards. But yeah, which is good. But I don't know. It's just a weird match. Like, you could have had a replacement. I get they had a storyline reason too, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it was weird. It's just because they were both technically heels, and it's not like Jeff Jarrett was like way over anyway as a baby fat. They could have found something else, or just, I don't know. Just if Ric Flair is truly injured, just not have the match on the card. Have something else.
Just not have the match at all, because the show was overall pretty good, but it felt long, especially in the middle. Like, I started, in the last couple of matches picked it up and it was better, but the show was going a little long. I thought kind of near this spot, but and then I also realized, and it wouldn't improve with the next one, but we had 3 heels going over technically in the first 3 matches. It was very strange. We had Dean go over, DDP, who was the heel, go over, and then technically the Giant went over on Jeff Jarrett by DQ. So and then that wouldn't improve in this one.
How sad is it that of all the matches so far, this is the only one we could see a rematch of?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, currently, because that's another thing. I thought it was. I mean, I guessed it, but I thought they wouldn't go this route because I'd be lackluster. But yeah, Jericho was teasing on Dynamite, hey, like, Will Hobbs, I got a Giant that I'll call up. I'm like, well, it can't be Paul White because it already works there. But who else connects? And it was, and I'm like, I don't know if that. I mean, he's big, but I don't know if that is really intimidating. I was like, oh, here, Will Hobbs, I got a 50-year-old dude. I don't know. It just feels weird, but yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, you could technically, if you're crazy, you could see this match in 2023.
You technically could, which we should say it is the in-ring WCW debut, although he's been on television, but the actual in-ring debut of Six, formerly the 1-2-3 Kid, Six-Pac, here against Chris Jericho. Against 2 guys who are still active, right now.
This was kind of funny, but just prior to this match, like Ted DiBiase's cutting a promo, but trying to put Six over, but he's in the crowd, right? He's in the crowd. But Six is behind him, so like it's just like it'd be weird. It'd be more effective that they were in a position where they were side by side, but like you couldn't. Yeah. I didn't know Six was there half the time because he was like. it was just weird. It was weird.
You should say all the NWO guys tonight made their entrances through the crowd. None of them came out like through the entranceway. They had their own little platform area or something that they were all just like standing in, and kept coming down to the crowd. And doing kind of their own their own announcements and whatnot as well. So yeah, Six comes through the crowd, and yeah, he gets in the ring with Chris Jericho. Again, it's also weird seeing WCW babyface Chris Jericho, because I always thought he was a heel for like his entire run. That's all I remember him being, is like a heel. But he's kind of a babyface here with Six being the NWO. But yeah, this is
coming up to that awful the rendition, or the WWE edited.
Jericho. Oh yeah, the edited music. No, all the edited music is bad.
I noticed that. One thing I forgot to mention, the DDP thing. They obviously they have an awful DDP edited thing, but I think while editing that, or by dubbing that, they also dubbed out the commentary, because the commentary just stopped for a bit, and then when when Eddie Guerrero came out, they started talking again. I'm like, that's weird.
Well, in WWE, when they do, when Undertaker got his new music, like after Rollin' and all that, they have a lot of entrances where they play like the vocal version, but during the time where he just had the instrumental version, but then they play the vocal version, so they edit out the crowd, and they have like stock crowd noise. It's really weird, and it's very strange, some of the things they do when you already own the song. It's odd, but yeah, it was a match I was looking forward to. Obviously, we would get more of these guys in the ring once they both got to WWE. I'm pretty sure I've seen these guys have matches on SmackDown and whatnot back in 2000. I'm pretty sure these guys get back in the ring together. But yeah, they had a decent little match here up until kind of, again, we got Nick Patrick doing his stupid neck brace thing in this match, which played into the finish, which was annoying, because I would have liked to have just seen these guys have a straight up match. Six goes for some, spin kicks and wind kicks. Jericho's able to, he kind of scouts them out and is able to kind of duck a few of those and whatnot. There's some springboard dives to the outside. Jericho hits his turnbuckle drop kicks and whatnot. There was a spot where Jericho actually hit the lion salt to X-Pac, who was on his stomach, and so he hit it to his back and then bridged over with his pin, but it only got a 1 count because Patrick was doing his slow count thing. Also, they hadn't fully said it yet, but they were teasing that he was going to be the NWO referee. They just haven't flat out said that he was the NWO referee. So he's helping all the NWO guys out as well without overly saying, But yeah, there's a point where Jericho hits like a springboard crossbody thing, and even the announcers are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and before Patrick can even get to 2 and kicks out, so it's playing more into that. And as Jericho's arguing with Patrick, he turns around and Six hits like a windmill kick, and suddenly Nick Patrick magically jumps down and counts 1, 2, 3 very, very quickly, and then the announcers are kind of arguing over Patrick and playing replays and whatnot. But it was fun while it lasted. I just wish there wasn't just so many stupid ref shenanigans with Patrick to interrupt what was, could have been a pretty good match. But JPO, any thoughts on this, or if you've seen it at all, or no?
On paper, it looks good.
Oh, okay. So you haven't seen the rest of the show. So I'll just say, what'd you think about my description of the match? Does that sound like something you'd want to watch? Yeah.
No, yeah. Again, on paper, this seems like a hell of a card.
No. Richie, any thoughts on
this? Jericho and
then let me know, Richie, what you got up to and don't remember. I'll just take it from there.
Jericho and X-Pac, or Six, whatever you want to call them, always had good chemistry. Actually, Jericho's first pay-per-view matches against X-Pac at Unforgiven.
So they would just flip the roles, and this being Six's WCW pay-per-view, it would be Jericho's kind of in-ring pay-per-view then. Okay.
Yeah, I believe Jericho's meant to verse Ken Shamrock, but Ken Shamrock left.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was decent. I think it was a decent match that could have been a really good match, but yeah, the shenanigans and the putting over Nick Patrick as the funny referee got in the way of that. So yeah, it's annoying. And then it is what it is, because you just know that with funny referees, it's like, okay, well, I know what obviously the heel's winning. It's like how usually all the time it's like there's no kind of, unless I don't know. It was just sort of telegraphed. Okay, Nick Patrick's gonna fuck over Jericho here, and that's what happened. So, that took away from the match a bit, but it was decent, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, so the fourth heel in a row goes over on the show. Again, it's weird because the crowd was cheering some of the guys that went over, even though they're technically heels. So it was a little strange. Who was heels and who was faces here? So we go backstage with Lex Luger getting ready for his match with Lee Marshall. Has some promo about walking through a garden, but instead of flowers, there's cactuses. I don't know what he was talking about. Some kind of promo about that, going through hardships and whatnot. But he's having a match with Arn Anderson. So it's Arn Anderson versus Lex Luger. And again, this is a weird one. I don't know who's the heel and who's the face in this one. Luger's playing to the crowd. Crowd likes him. But Arn Anderson and Ric Flair and the Horsemen are faces right now. So I think it's kind of a face-face match. But Luger mostly does kind of the heat during this thing. So I think he's supposed to be the heel, but he's not. But anyways, and I want to quickly mention on the Nitro beforehand to get ready for this match, Lex Luger had a match with Roadblock. You guys remember Roadblock?
Roadblock. I think he was Who's This Way at one point.
Who dat? Who dis? Roadblock was a giant man, and if you don't know who Roadblock is, picture Balls Mahoney, but 6'6" and 400 pounds. That's what he looks. That's what he looks like. He's an enormous man. But I applaud Lex Luger because in that match, Lex Luger got him up in the torture rack. It's quite the moment, actually, if you want to look up that match. Skip to the end. He racks Roadblock. So Lex Luger, a big, strong man, a very talented dude in that department. And I only mention that because, there was a spot early here where he whips Arn in and gorilla presses Arn Anderson, who's also not a small man, and pretty easily presses him up over his head and then tosses him. Lex Luger, if nothing else, was a big, strong dude and can do some impressive things. So they each take turns kind of working each other's backs here. I mean, it's two old pros. I mean, they used to be in the Horsemen together, so they have a history. I think Arn definitely kind of laid this match out. They played to Lex's strengths and not to one of his weaknesses. One of Lex's better matches, honestly. It's a very old school match. It's not bad here. And the tide turns when behind the ref's back, Luger's able to hit Arn with a chair multiple times on the outside, and they end up doing kind of an injury angle with Arn here. They roll him back in. Luger puts him in the torture rack. Arn gives up, and then they kind of wheel out Arn on a stretcher afterwards to do kind of an injury angle. But Richie, did you get a chance to see this one, or any thoughts on it?
I did see the one. I thought it was right. I think the issue is like a lot of these. So I guess when the NWO came in and their heels, then automatically it's sort of like the invasion thing. Automatically, the people who aren't maybe NWO affiliated, almost like, well, some of them are kind of, if they're against the NWO, they're almost tweeners in a way, but they didn't really turn. Like, there's like. That they showed at one point. Like earlier on in the show, like Dungeon of Doom in the crowd, and like they were cheering on someone. It was like, and it's just funny that the people they were cheering on that were against NWO were like, when you had Kim Sullivan in the crowd, but you also had Conan and Big
Bubba, Ray Traylor, yes.
Big Bubba, both of whom would go to NWO.
That was weird, right? I don't know what the Dungeon of Doom was supposed to be doing for most of the show. We'll talk about them in a minute, because they did get involved in this next match here at the end. But I don't know. I don't remember who they're aligned with or not aligned with, or what they end up doing, storyline wise. I have no memory of this Dungeon of Doom with Conan and Big Bubba. I have no memory of that at all.
I feel like they were treading water once Hogan turned heel, to be honest. But anyway, this match, I thought this match was right. It was obviously Arn carrying the match. I think Lex is underrated in the sense that people, I think, just write him off as a bad wrestler, but he can be carried to a good match, and also, obviously his strength is his strength. He's a very powerful man, and I thought this was, it was what it was. It was, it was a match that was there, but it was inoffensive. But
not bad. So we go to Harlem Heat in the back, and something else I had no memory of. Not the Sherry thing. I remember they were with Sensational Sherry for a little while, but Harlem Heat was Sensational Sherry and Colonel Rob Parker.
Colonel Rob Parker.
I had no memory of Harlem Heat with Colonel Parker in their corner at all. That's something I had no memory of. Yeah,
I think there's some storyline reason, like for some, like there was like he's got like they storyline they hooked up or something, and or there was something that there's something to that, and then like later on, like or maybe this is after that, but like Sherry and like Medusa get into a feud when Medusa comes in because like Medusa apparently Parker cheated on Sherry with Medusa. And so then they actually have like I think it's Parker and Medusa have like an actual match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I have vague memories of that, but I just didn't remember the whole Colonel Parker angle of it. I just remember in a few months he's doing like a French sympathizer gimmick with like a beret. And wearing like camo. It's weird. Yeah, I remember he kind of switches to that, and he's doing like the non-Canadians or whatever the hell their name was tag team. Yeah, I just remember him doing something different later. But anyways, Harlem Heat. It's a basic kind of Booker T promo. The only thing I wrote down was he said, we're going to jump the Outsiders Harlem style, whatever that means. So you're going to like rob them and shoot them or something? What does that mean? All right. Yeah. He says to come see us on 110th Street. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Cool.
That's kind of bad. That's offensive stereotypes that you're playing out there.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, apparently they're gonna gang jump the Outsiders. Okay, cool. All right. Anyways, and then we had match number 6, aka the greatest match of the '90s, the best match I ever saw this week. The Faces of Fear, Barbarian and Ming versus Chris Benoit and Steve Mongo McMichael. Holy shit, was this a slobber knocker? This match was great. I loved this. I loved every second of this match. Was so awesome. This match was a throwdown. It was intense. They beat the shit out of each other. They're throwing each other around. This match was great. The best match of the show. And everybody who did reviews of this online severely underrated this match. This match was awesome.
I in my second go around haven't got to that yet, but I remember watching this match and thinking it was really good because I remember when I was watching Faces of Fear, I remember, I must have underrated Barbarian at one point, but Barbarian's really good. And Faces of Fear is fucking awesome.
Barbarian and Ming as a tag team are just these cavemen who just smash people and beat the hell out of people. And it's ugly and it's gross and it's not coordinated at all, but it's awesome. Every time they get in the ring.
It's really great. Whenever they got in the ring with the Steiners or anything like that, I'm like,
oh my God, yes, they're going to beat the shit out of each other. It's great.
And it was always amazing. It was great.
Dude.
Even Mongo wasn't out of place there.
No, because he's a big caveman too. He's a big lunkhead. And he's getting in there with other lunkheads. It's great because they literally started this match with Mongo and Ming, and what do? They start trading shoulder tackles, and while they're doing it, they're grunting and they're snarling, and Mongo's going, and they're just launching into each other, slamming into each other like two cars, just a demolition derby, and eventually Mondo goes to the 3-4 stance and launches himself just into Ming. It was glorious. I was having so much fun. A minute into this match, it was great. My smile never left my face because Barbarian comes in. Him and Benoit start trading chops back and forth. It was great. They're just smacking the shit out of each other. There was some man-meat slapping in this match, if I ever saw some. Benoit suplexing him left and right. Ming and Mongo get back in there and do a sumo spot, and that was a lot of fun. And then Mongo, for no reason, after the sumo spot, does his little drills where he spins one way, he spins another way, and he just starts chop blocking Ming. Then he starts chop blocking Barbarian. Then he chop blocks Ming again. It's a total train wreck, but it's the best train wreck you ever saw in your life. It's great.
I vaguely remember Brian and Vinny,
Of course. No, they're a huge fan. Like, they underestimated the first go-around, and then every time they reviewed a Ming and Barbarian match, they were like, this is the greatest match I ever saw. Because we didn't appreciate it back then when we had with these guys who just smash people. Their move that they did in tandem where Ming would backdrop somebody into Barbarian, we would catch him at a powerbomb. Every time they hit it perfectly, it was great. That was great. They did it to Benoit here, and it was awesome. When they did it right, it was great. They botched it a couple of times, but when they did it right, it was awesome. So they do that. Barbarian, in the most famous spot from this match, Chris Benoit's on the top rope, knocks out Barbarian once or twice, but then Barbarian gets up to the top rope and fucking launches Chris Benoit into the stratosphere. He launched him 1,000 feet in the air with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex off the top rope. While he was standing, I swear to God, I rewound it 4 times and watched it. It was incredible, and the crowd was like stood up after that. He got to the top rope, and Benoit just when he threw, dude, I swear to God, he almost went out of reach of the camera. He went so damn high and landed right near the other turnbuckle. It was the greatest spot I ever saw. Like, this was ridiculous.
I think when I watched that, I'm like, how did I forget? Like, Barbarian was that entertaining.
Yeah, dude, he launched him into the atmosphere with this thing. It was great. The crowd went nuts for it. There's a spot where Ming and Barbarian both do a double headbutt off the top rope. That was awesome. And then eventually they kind of have to. The Horsemen have to resort to some cheating. They hit Ming with the briefcase that Mongo used to carry around, and then Benoit hits his own top rope headbutt. Is able to get the pin, so they pin the Faces of Fear. But then, as we said, the Dungeon of Doom finally runs in from the outside and starts putting the boots to Mongo. But in one of the cool spots, and why Benoit was a badass, he fights off all 5 of these guys by himself for like 2 minutes. It was amazing because he gets in there, he gets up, he's chopping Ming, he's chopping Benoit, he's forearming Sullivan, then he chops Conan, then he hits Ray Trailer. Like, he's fighting off all these guys, and the crowd's actually getting behind him. They're like, holy shit, look at this guy, he's beating up all 5 of these dudes. And then they finally kind of overwhelm and put the boots to him. But yeah,
I'd love to review at some point that his Benoit's matches he has with Kevin Sullivan. They just beat the shit out of
they beat the shit out of each other too. Yeah, famously. And I think
they really didn't like each other.
I think this match kind of leads into that, because I remember those guys having their kind of unsanctioned matches or whatever right after this. They beat the hell out of each other. But yeah, this was great. I'm gonna go back and watch this tomorrow. This was awesome. I'm gonna watch it again. It was great because this match was everything I wanted it to be. It was great. So yeah, then we moved on to another pretty fun match for what it was, a different style of match, but still pretty fun with some stars. Crowd was into it. For the tag team titles, we had Harlem Heat taking on the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Crowd's hot for this. They love the Outsiders. They love Harlem Heat, so they're big time into this. So they both, Booker T and Scott Hall, kind of started off with some good back and forth here. When Kevin Nash and Stevie Ray both tagged in, I cringed in my chair, and but it wasn't bad. Basically Kevin Nash just backs him up in the corner, does his 6 moves in the corner he does to everybody. The knees in the corner, the back elbows. The standard moves he does. He does all of his standard stuff in the first 5 minutes of this match, and then tags out to Hall, and Hall does most of the rest of the work for most of the match. But yeah, it wasn't bad. Stevie was okay. Stevie did his job. When he did his job, he was fine. And when his job was, as part of Harlem Heat, Booker takes the heat and tags into Stevie. Stevie cleans house, and then Booker finishes the match. That's exactly what they did every match, and it was good. When they stuck to the roles. Anytime they reversed it and Stevie took the heat, it was terrible. So Stevie did his role here. He sat on the outside, waited for the hot tag, did his big man kind of comebacks here, gets the hot tag. He did a pretty cool spot where he gorilla pressed Scott Hall into Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall is no small man. He's also 6'6", 280. He's a big man. He's a definitely large man. So very cool there. They're actually able to put down Nash, or he was in the National, I can't remember, but Booker hit the Harlem Hangover. But Colonel Parker comes in and is going to hit Nash with the cane, but Nash, I think they set it up to where the announcers were confused, but I think they set it to where Colonel Parker kind of gave him the cane instead or something. And he used it on Stevie or whatever it was. I think it was supposed to be the turn here. I think
he gave it to, from memory. He gives it to him, but but the Harlem Heat don't know that they're going to do it because they don't want to. They don't want to necessarily cheat. But obviously, Colonel Parker's still heel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
but Stevie gets hit with the cane and then rolled over for the pin. So the Outsiders are your new tag team champions. This is the first time I think they held the belt here in WCW. So the crowd popped big for them finally getting the belt here after coming there, 6 months ago, whatever it was. So, but the crowd was into it. It was a fun match. I think everybody played to their strengths again here. Hit some big spots. Booker and Hall did a lot of the workhorse stuff, when they needed to, which was a smart idea. Kevin Nash came in, just hit his couple of spots that he does and got in and out. And Steve Ray did his job too. So it was a fun match overall.
Yeah. I liked the Harlem Hangover move. They only did it he called it the Houston Hangover in WWE, but I was only able to do it once because I think he had a match with Big Show at Vengeance one year, but he did it to Big Show one, but I think he legit knocked Big Show out. So okay, you're not doing that move.
Yeah, you're not doing that move again. No, he looked like I think he hit it with Hall on this one. He looked like he killed Hall with this thing too, because he landed right on his neck with his Harlem Hangover. But the crowd always popped for it. It was always cool when he would do it. The Outsiders take that one, and we could sort of get here to the lead up to our main event here, which is going to be Hollywood Hogan putting his title on the line against Macho Man Randy Savage. So Hogan is in the crowd, as everyone else in the NWO is. He's wearing his hairpiece from Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Oh, you know what that is?
Yes, that is what he's doing. His really terrible wig from the Three Ninjas.
Co-starring Jim Varney.
Yes, co-starring Jim Varney. The movie itself, if you've not seen it, is horrible. It's a terrible movie. Terrible movie. Now, and here's the interesting part. So on Nitro, the Nitro before, they end the show with him doing this promo thing from the set of Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. So they go to the set, and he's in his full costume. So he's in the wig. He's in his dumb outfit that he wears in that thing. It looks kind of like a Jeff Jarrett outfit. It's like a neck collar thing with one string going down to his tights. It's really bad. So he's on the set there, and he has the giant take over the production. It's weird, and he's cutting promos while he's in his outfit, and he's taking over the movie. And they even get the director in the video. Sean McNamara is in the video, which leads me to, you guys know how on tournament fights I like to sometimes diverge into the director filmography.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So I wanted to quickly run down. I know this is a bit of a tangent, but we're all movie fans here. The prestigious filmography of Sean McNamara. All right, so he makes a couple of low-level movies, whatever. His first actual movie is the prestigious Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. So we're starting off really good here. I actually wanted to bring up the stuff, even, how IMDb now you click director and you can click film or TV or just director, whatever, and it includes TV. Mm-hmm. So some of these are TV movies or straight to video movies. They don't include them when you hit film, but they do if you just hit director. So I did not know that there was a whole spinoff of straight to video Baby Geniuses movies.
Oh yeah.
But there are, and Sean McNamara has pretty much directed all of them.
I think from memory, right? I think there was a plan to do a Baby Geniuses TV show and they filmed stuff, and it never ended up being, so that they just kind of extended these episodes into movies. If there's a comedian, Canadian comedian YouTuber named Curtis Connor. He reviews them. They're fucking terrible. They look terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sean McNamara, the man behind, the genius behind the Baby Geniuses direct-to-video franchise, apparently, he didn't direct either the original two movies, but he's behind all of those. He did Casper: A Spirited Beginning and Casper Meets Wendy. If you saw either of those made-for-TV Casper movies, which I did a lot. They used to come on the Disney Channel a lot, so I've seen them. He did the movie Punks, the Punks movie. He did Treehouse Hostage, speaking of Jim Varney, which I have seen. That's a Disney Channel original movie. Where Jim Varney is tied up in a treehouse for the whole movie. It's very strange. So a couple other made-for-TV movies. His best directing gig might be the Even Stevens movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe. That might be his most prestigious, best actual quality thing he's ever done. Mm-hmm. Because he gets back into the mainstream Hollywood with the Hilary Duff classic Raise Your Voice, which is a horrible movie.
I can remember that.
Yeah. He did the cutting-edge straight-to-video sequel, Going for the Gold. He did some TV here and there. He made the infamous 2007 movie Bratz, based on the TV show. Bratz is a horrible movie. So this guy just knocking it out of the park every single time, just one hit after another. He makes the Sweet Life and Zack and Cody movie. So he actually, I take that back. His best effort might be the movie Soul Surfer. He directed that movie. Which is okay, decent movie about the girl who gets her arm bit off by a shark. But so he does that. Like I said, did some of those Baby Geniuses, straight to video movies or TV episodes, whatever you want to call them. Yes, apparently there is a 13 episode Baby Genius TV show. He directed 7 of them, so he is the true mastermind behind the actual series. He directs. God, what else we got here? Alien Stole My Baby, Cats and Dogs 3, Paws Unite, a couple of Hallmark Christmas movies, and then his two most recent, I guess, mainstream movies, The King's Daughter with Pierce Brosnan. That disaster of a movie
I just remember they were Impact sponsors one week. They were like,
and the one that I brought up, JPO, on our worst of the year so far list, On a Wing and a Prayer with On a Wing and a Prayer with Dennis Quaid, where it's him flying the plane, which is a very bad movie as well. So Sean McNamara, man, good on you, man, cranking out one hit after another, still working, putting out shit, but somebody's hiring you over and over again. So
he's staying busy.
He's staying busy, but I only say that just to go back to the original promo. So not only is he kind of promoting this upcoming Three Ninjas Hiding in a Mega Mountain, but he also mentions that 2 weeks from today, in theaters, will be his newest movie, Santa with Muscles, another great movie from Hulk Hogan in his promo. So
Mila Kunis.
So he's promoting not one, but 2 shitty movies in one promo with Santa with Muscles and Three Ninjas Hiding in a Mega Mountain. He said he's wearing his hairpiece. He just kind of has it spiked up for the match, which is really stupid. So he looks ridiculous. But having said that, the crowd is hot. They're ready for this match because these 2 guys are big stars. It's a WrestleMania 5 rematch here. The Mega Powers, colliding once again. Randy Savage has some spectacular orange gear for Halloween. This orange gear was good. I did like his orange gear. It was very bright neon orange. He looks good here. Hogan wears his sunglasses for most of the match. Until Macho Man takes it from him after an axe handle. It's weird. Again, I mentioned that the previous Nitro and the story leading up to this was like very serious and depressing, with Macho Man being distraught over Elizabeth leaving him. He's like crying and all that, and then they come in here and have an 80s comedy match. Essentially, it's really weird. It's a lot of his usual shenanigans of stalling and going on the outside and overselling everything, and the big facial reactions, and Macho Man's playing with that too. It's very strange. It's very much a big time Hogan match with him not doing much of anything bump wise, doing everything he can not to bump in the middle of this ring,
and also probably not, being cautious of the fact that he's filming movies, so he doesn't want to get
he doesn't want to get hurt, so he's doing a very much like a bumpless match here. Playing to the crowd, doing all his stalling. Macho chases after him up the rampway, takes the hairpiece off, shoves in his mouth at one point. Savage uses the chair once. Hogan uses the chair once. They're kind of back and forth with that. Miss Elizabeth finally comes out. It kind of begins the second half of this match that's way, again, overbooked. It's kind of an overbooked, just WCW match. There's a million things going on. Liz gets in the ring fully at one point and stops Hulk Hogan from doing the leg drop. How is that not a disqualification? Okay, I don't know, but she's just kind of doing that. Randy Anderson's trying to get her out of the ring. Randy gets knocked out at one point from a Hogan clothesline. So, of course, Nick Patrick comes out, and they do some spots where eventually it gets to Macho Man, hits the top rope elbow. Nick Patrick does the 1, 2, my neck hurts. Oh, my neck. And the announcers, of course, are going crazy. What the hell is going on? What are you doing, Patrick? Get him out of there. And then eventually Giant comes out because the Randy's still knocked out, but Nick Patrick is there. Gives him the easiest, softest choke slam on the floor you ever saw. Randy's selling it like he's dead. Rolls him back in. Hogan covers Macho Man and gets the 1, 2, 3 from Nick Patrick. So of course the crowd is, some of the crowd, it was like 50-50. Half the crowd was still kind of with Hollywood Hogan, NWO Hogan. Half the crowd was with Macho Man. So they're kind of doing their thing. The announcers are of course going nuts, and you think the show is going to be over, but all of a sudden we hear bagpipes. So and I should say, Tony Schiavone on the Nitro before was pretty much telling you somebody was going to show up, because he's doing all these teases about you have to order every WCW pay-per-view, fans, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up. He's dropping all these things, practically telling you somebody's going to show up. And sure enough, we hear the bagpipes, and the debuting Roddy Piper comes down to the ring. And I have no idea what the hell he was talking about in this promo. He's on a million different directions when he finally gets on the microphone. He's talking about 30 different things as he's going along. But his main thing is they literally run out of time. They just have to cut the program off eventually because they run out of time. There's like 5 minutes left on the clock. I looked at it, and Piper talked for so long they ran out of time. But essentially, he keeps kind of insulting the Giant. He's basically going back and forth with Hogan about, you wouldn't have been as big a star if it weren't for me. They argue over who's the bigger Hollywood star, which neither.
I guess, Roddy Piper's in a more successful film with They Live, but then
he did the best film out of either of their filmographies. That's true, but then he does Hell Comes to Frogtown. Yeah, I mean, and not much else after that. I mean, Hogan did more movies overall, but they were all shitty movies. So yeah, who wins? Neither. You know what, Richie? That would be a good battleground question. Who's got the better filmography? Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, because you each had the arguments. Well, Hogan did more. Yeah, but Roddy had the one better movie. Yeah, but he only had the one movie. But the rest sucked.
It's also a meaningless flex argument to have in a wrestling show. Hey,
who's the best Hollywood star on a wrestling show?
We've got I'm the better Hollywood star away from this wrestling. You're speaking away from wrestling. When but none of this wrestling crap outside of this wrestling stuff. Who's the biggest? It's just weird.
Yeah, it was a weird back and forth. Like I said, there's several points where they both go to leave the ring and then they keep going. So Roddy goes to leave. Hulk Hogan insults him again. He comes back in. Roddy starts his promo all over again. It's just it's a bit of a mess of a way to end it. But the crowd was still into it. They were into Roddy and seeing him, and it was a genuine surprise at the time that Roddy showed up. And then literally it just gets to a point where Tony goes, "We're out of time, bye," and they cut the show off. So as they're still kind of going back and forth. But yeah, still a nice surprise. But at the same time, a very overbooked kind of classic WCW big star main event where Hogan goes over at the end. It's kind of the same old. But yeah,
Hogan wins.
And Hogan wins via shenanigans, as he usually did. So yeah, that's kind of what happens. But overall, we'll get to kind of the overall thoughts. I know, JPO, you only got to see pieces of it, but we'll still go around the horn. And Richie, I know you've seen it before. You're just kind of getting through your rewatch, but I'll get you guys' thoughts, and then I'll kind of give my overall thoughts. So JPL, of what you saw, I know you only got to see a couple, but what you saw.
Good example of what the roster was at that point. That they on paper it looks fantastic on paper. Okay, Hogan, Savage. You know what I mean? Good amount of tag teams. So yeah,
I would definitely recommend the Faces of Fear match. Going back and watch that, because holy shit, did they beat the hell out of each other in that match? And that match was fun, really fun, intense, just slobber knocker stuff.
Of all the teams you could book today, Faces of Fear still bookable.
Dude, book the Faces of Fear right now. I would watch it. But Richie, anything? What do you got on this one overall?
Yeah. I thought overall it was a decent show, but just marred by maybe typical WCW booking where it's just the good matches sort of ruined by finish. Shiny finishes other than the maybe Faces of Fear and the opener. But yeah, I think it was an okay show. I remember the Roddy Piper thing leads on to wacky things where Roddy Piper technically beats Hogan, but they find a way to go, heck, no, technically he doesn't win the title.
Yeah,
it's why not have Roddy Piper just have a moment win a world title?
Because he was never the world champion ever. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, just he could have been a world champion there, or it would have been fine.
Everybody was world champion at WCW. I mean, you could have had Roddy hold the belt for a month. It would have fit right in with everything else. Yeah, it's odd.
But this is definitely I mean, as the years will go on, it's one of the better Halloween Havocs, I guess. Like, as the years will go on, like with WCW, I mean, '97 has like the great Eddie Ray match, but yeah, that's also, I think
Right. There's also Roddy and Hogan in a steel cage, which is not good.
which is not great. Yeah, we forget Roddy and Hogan feud goes on for fucking ever.
So. Ever. It goes into '98. Yeah, it's on and off forever because Roddy's in and out of the company. He leaves, he comes back. He leaves, comes back. Yeah, he shows up on random nitros and cuts long-winded promos about nothing, and then leaves again. Yeah, he's president at one point. Yeah, it's weird.
Brian Zane from Wrestling Regret does a good breakdown of it. I think he did posted a couple of years ago a video of like Roddy Piper and WCW and how it didn't work out, and just like how the weird booking. But overall I think it was an okay show. But it's just like typical WCW booking getting in the way of a great show.
This is a show where I definitely think it started out hot with the Dean and Ray stuff. Obviously they usually did. I think I could have used another cruiserweight match maybe in there instead of Jeff Jarrett and the Giant. I wouldn't have minded like a Ultimo Dragon or Psychosis or Hoovy match in there somewhere, maybe instead, because they weren't overbooking several of those lucha matches in a row, on these shows. They've definitely done that before. I guess Six and Chris Jericho was a close thing to that, which again had potential had we not had shenanigans. So the beginning of the show is pretty good. I think the middle kind of drags a little bit, but I do think the final stretch, the final three matches, is worth your time, because the Faces of Fear match is awesome. It's just a throwdown. It's great. If you love big, intense, scary guy matches like me and Richie and Vinny and Brian Alvarez did, like I love that stuff, and it's great, and just awesome. And even just if you can see a highlight reel of some of those spots, like the power bomb, especially the top rope, if you can see that top rope belly to belly he does, it's ridiculous. Like they literally almost don't even catch it on camera because he goes so high. It's awesome. That match is fun. The Outsiders and Harlem Heat is surprisingly way better than you think it'd be. Actually a pretty fun match. And Hogan and Savage is kind of it's probably one of the better versions of the goofy, main event WCW, like two big stars match, because at least the crowd's into it and they don't botch anything. Like it's still Savage, like when he cared, and it's typical cartoon character Hogan, doing his thing. But that into the Roddy stuff, at least the show kind of ends hot. So it's like kind of a 7-ish out of 10 for me. It's not bad, there's some good matches on there worth checking out. Just kind of has a lull in the middle there. Definitely a roller coaster show, but you could do way worse with WCW pay-per-views, of course, as we have here on the show. We could do way worse than Halloween Havoc '96. That'll probably do it. Kind of wrap it up here. So next week, I'm guessing we're going to talk about some Crown Jewel, and see what happens. We'll see when the predictions, and then maybe whoever does can maybe let us know if they want to do something in particular for that show once Crown Jewel is over, and we'll add that to the docket for next week. But
did you keep a tally of who won predictions? Because I was away. Did you keep your predictions?
The last one that we did, I think it was I think you and JPO tied or something. So technically, you can get him back on something if you'd like to do a draft where we draft for him for JPO. If you'd like to get him back. I don't know.
I won't get it. I'll save my thing. I think we'll do Crown Jewel, but I was also at one point. I think the women's PWI, if I'm not mistaken, is that out?
Oh right, is it out? I don't know.
I think they came out maybe a week or so ago. Yeah, so I don't know. Wouldn't mind doing something like that about that. But there's other things.
I mean, you do have one in the tank you have not used. If you want to pick something now for us to do next week, you can do that right now if you want to.
All right.
Or if you want to think about it, that's up to you.
No, I'll just say now. Do a draft for the women's PWI, and I'll put I'll on the top 100, and we'll just.
That'll be tougher for me because I'm gonna have a lot of. I don't know the difference between this person and this person, to be honest. So it'll be interesting.
To be fair, especially for Paz and everything, let's just do the full 250. But I'm not draft the full 250, but use the full 250.
Oh, that's 250. Yeah, that's the full 250
as reference, because there is some lower tier like WWE people that you at least might know and stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
All right, so that is officially out though, for sure. All right, the PWA Women's 250. Okay, yeah, it's out. So if we'll find that list we'll put it up there. Yeah, and we'll do we'll draft the ladies this time for the PWA 250, and then we'll talk about Crown Jewel and see what happens. So yeah, sounds like a plan. All right, let's wrap this thing up, get some plugs, and we'll get out of here for the evening. JPO, what you got going on in the Pierce Co. and all the other business over there,
and all the other shenanigans.
Yeah,
yeah. As you just said, the Pierce Co. is the main channel for movie shenanigans and TV stuff as well. That we do over there. Like I said, a little bit of a hiatus, but we're pretty much going to get back into track over the next week or so. And then Pierce Wrestling as well, still doing stuff over at that channel for wrestling shenanigans. Definitely got to get back to that too. We crown new tag champs. I should maybe have them defend sooner or later.
All right, Richie, what you got going on?
Yeah, you can catch me on JPO's channel doing wrestling and movie trivia. I just did horror clips just earlier today, and that was fun. And CWT. I think they're trying to schedule me and JPO to actually face one-on-one. So at some point we'll do that. And JPO's going to be like, oh, that's news to me.
No, we just talked about this like the other night, so no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I've been putting on Cass. You stayed. Like I don't remember talking about it with Cass, but
yeah.
Letting me know.
Yeah. I know. Other than that, I'll be on. We'll film it next week. Sometime. I'll be on the first guest on John Maher's podcast, versus where we go through a terrible movie, Snake Hotel.
That sounds like something you do on Tell 'em We're Streaming. What the hell happened to that show, by the way? When you bring it back?
But this will be like a I guess it'll be like a kind of similar like that, similar to that. So I'm like, he goes, let me know if you can find it. And then I'm into Tubi, found it straight away. So
I just looked up, by the way. I was looking at the two movies that Hogan was promoting. Santa with Muscles is on Tubi, and only on Tubi, by the way. You can't even rent it on Amazon or Vudu. That's weird. It's just on Tubi. Very strange. But yeah, Santa with Muscles on there. Three Ninjas Hiding in a Mega Mountain, not on Tubi, unfortunately. So
what will I do with my time?
I have seen it. I think I rented it from Netflix DVD at some point. I think I did. So yeah.
He also did a terrible movie that I watched maybe a year ago that I found on there because my friend obviously do the time of streaming with. He gave me the DVD, and I realized he wasn't doing me a favor when he did that. But then I couldn't find it for whatever reason, so I went to Tubi instead. It's called Secret Agents Club, and it's supposed to be like a kid. It's supposed to be like a
cover of that movie.
Family movie, but yeah, it's like Hogan's barely in it. It's weird. It's like Hogan's a man. Anyway, go watch. You watch it if you kill 80 minutes. But yeah, other than that, yeah. But yeah, my clips are done.
All right, yeah, and as for me, we got the next Tournament Fights Mystery Tournament tomorrow night here on the channel. You can tune in and see that. A lot of familiar movies on there. I might watch Fritz the Cat for that. We'll see, because it's actually in the tournament tomorrow night. Speaking of one of Jacob's movies that he threw in there, it actually got spun, so it's going to be in the tournament. We'll see. I'll be on Rankum, I believe, with JPO. We're on Rankum Sunday night talking some influential horror movies. So yeah, that should be a good little discussion there. So that'll be a good time. And everything else we'll have going on. Just tune in the Movie Hero Network next week. So yeah, that'll do it for tonight. Unless you guys have anything else, I think we'll wrap this thing up and get on out of here. So for JPO, for Richie, for Jacob, if you're going sleepy bye, we hope you got some rest. But we got you covered. We missed you, buddy. That'll do it for tonight. So we'll see you next time.